Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning trading room. Hold on one second here. We'll get the screen share going on. Okay, that seems to be working. All right, so yesterday the market a little bit sideways until, well, who knows whether the market was really waiting on President Trump's announcement or whether they just decided to do something, but it tailed off a little bit. Overall, the market's still more in an uptrend. We'll see what we got going here this morning. Like I say, the market just opening up. Hold on, I'm still fiddling here with my screen sharing software, trying to get everything to work here on my laptop. Oh, forget it. I'll just go with it. Okay. All right, so the market's just opened, and you can see here on the Falcon that we are trading right off of our primary resistance line. So we took a little bit of an early bounce here off the market open, very close to the median line, and now we've drifted up. We're back around the primary resistance, but you can see from the overnight a lot of very sideways trading here. So I think they're going to need a few minutes to settle in and kind of get a direction going. The overnight session here on the Eagle, quite bullish for the most part, and then things are resetting slightly before the market opened. So right now, our Eagle band, very neutral as well. I'll probably do the same today as what I did yesterday, just focus on one of the instruments, just because half of my laptop monitor is covered with the screen share software, so I can't really see what's going on with the Hawk or too much of what's going on with the Falcon. Or pardon me, the Eagle. What I see mostly are the Falcon and the Raptor. I miss my other monitors. Oh well, it's just a few more days. All right, it looks like we're getting a few things in sync here now. We got ourselves a trend change signal on the Falcon. So things trying to get a little bit more bullish. An early trend change, that's the early number one here on the Raptor. And it looks like there's been a little bit of a downtrend here, and we're up, challenging the highs, making a higher swing low. I don't know yet if that's just going to be a test of the extreme in this case being the low here. or whether this whole move that we see here out of the open is nothing more than a great big bear flag, in which case we'll probably see the market try to break down. If that's the case, I may consider a number 2 signal here. Now, for those of you who weren't in the trading room yesterday, let me just give you a quick overview. I'm out of town for a few days and I'm running off the laptop, and you're going to notice that my version of the Raptor here does not print the signal prompts. So I'll be calling them out as they develop, but you're not going to see the numbers print. However, they should be printing on your Raptor. You're also going to notice that I'm trading the retro version of the trade manager. There's no significant difference really in the operation of the trade manager. Rather, most of the upgrades have been cosmetic, but you'll see most of the features are the same. Some of these things have been eliminated, like the buy and sell, the ask and bid buttons. All right, the market coming down now. We're kind of seeing a test of the hard edge. That's the support zone. If this fails at this point, that's going to give us a sell signal that will actually be like a number 2 signal. What time is it? Ooh, okay, I'm going to give that a try. I'm just going to hit the sell market button, and I think I need to improve the visuals on those. That might be a little bit hard to see, but we did get a decent fill, and I should get a stop loss order working here. So let me get my stop loss enabled. All right, so now I have a stop loss as well. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to run everything as a runner today. Oh, I know what I did when I loaded my trade manager, I forgot to load a template. All right, well, we got a little bit of giddy up here, so let me move into a more aggressive stop strategy now. I'll switch over to the parabolics. And if you wanted to try to hang on here a little bit longer, maybe something like the super trend or a chandelier strategy will hold you in a little bit longer. I don't think they're going to, yeah, I didn't think they were going to let me ride out that swing. Not with the parabolics. But that was a decent little move anyhow. Not bad for an early trade anyway. Now we're sneaking up at the quarter to the hour mark. This tends to be my least favorite time of the day to trade, just because the market very often tries to give you a head fake type signal here. And this, of course, is just something that I picked up from journaling my trades. I would think, though, after that little bit of a move down that we just saw, that the sellers may try to push the market lower still. So they're now not quite into the hard edge, but it's a judgment call. You could wait for a second push opportunity on this continuation signal, or you could simply throw an order to short in here below the lows. Please excuse the traffic. There's a lot of construction going on in the area. So there now is your second push opportunity. So you can look to sell below here. We'll see how far this reverses, because this signal is it's a little early. It's not quite quarter to the hour. Now we are definitely into the hard edge, however. And if the market comes out from here with a sell signal, that might be worth trying to short. Again, this having a little bit of a bear flag type setup to it. Okay, now we're definitely at quarter to the hour, so I might sit on my hands here for a little bit, just see what happens. It's a little difficult to see, but this is a number 2 signal that printed here, the counter trend. Yeah, great question here from Dan. Dan asks, have you noticed that the better trades come on the DTS when all the birds are in sync? And yes, absolutely. Stephanie, way back in the day with Indicator Warehouse, she would always use the eagle as a guide. If the other tools were not in sync with what she saw on the eagle, she would not take it. So for instance, here the eagle band is bearish, and we're getting buy signals in the hawk and the falcon. She would not take those. I was never that stringent with it, but Dan's correct. You will notice that when all your tools are in sync, you're going to tend to get better trades. And vice versa, when your tools are conflicted. You know, your hawk is already bullish, your eagle and raptor are bearish. That's when you're going to see a little bit more of a struggle. Right now, Trade Forecaster says we are in swing mode, quickly heading into scalp mode. So someone asked yesterday, I think it was David, what a swing mode looks like on the Raptor. Well, here you go. You're going to get these intermediate type moves. The move we had down, now the move back. You see the swings are not too deep, but they are a little bit more frequent. You see here was a little mini swing here, another mini swing here, another mini swing here. So they do come a little bit more frequent than perhaps they would be in trend mode, but they're not too terribly deep. Once we get into scalp mode, you're probably going to find that the swings become a little bit more pronounced and the follow through a little bit more erratic. David's asking, what mean Renko number would you use for crude oil? Most of the time, I go with the defaults. So for the Raptor, that would be an 8-tick brick. However, if you open up your chart and it looks like this, and these are your daybreak lines. All right, if you open up your chart and it looks like this is all you got going on in the session, then your brick size is going to be too large. You're going to have to adjust it. You're going to need to make it a little bit smaller. And this is what I found with crude oil lately, is that the volatility is not there like it used to be. So what I've done for crude, and you would do the same thing for the E-mini S&P or any instrument that trades for more than $10 a tick. So the E-mini trades at $12.50 a tick. So for quiet markets or markets that trade for $12.50 a tick or better, you may want to try the alternate settings, the faster settings for the Raptor. So that means you're going to go to a 4-tick brick on your Raptor. So your brick size is going to be 4. However, if you do that, you also need to make adjustments to your filter and your cloud sizes. Now let me show you how to do that. I'm not going to be able to show you exactly because, of course, I'm running the older Raptor here. Oh, I don't think I can even adjust the cloud size here. Oh yes, okay, it's separate. All right, so we're going to go to the 4-4-6 settings. So we're going to have a 4-tick brick. Our cloud, we're going to have one cloud. So the cloud that's at 8 ticks, we're also going to make that a 4-tick cloud. The cloud that is at 10 ticks or 12 ticks, whatever it happens to be, we're going to make that a 6-tick cloud. And then the Raptor, when we go down here to the, where was it? Here, the hawk bars, we're also going to make that a 4-tick size. So 4-4-6. And what that will do is it's going to give you the same type of thing as what you're seeing here. Otherwise, your cloud becomes very, very thin, and you're only going to produce number 1 signals. You won't produce number 2 signals, or probably only the odd number 3 signal. So just remember 4-4-6, and if you forget that, just remember that is the telephone prefix for Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. And you'll never forget it. All right, we're been in a little bit of a sideways twist here now as they try to sort things out. Almost to the end of opening range, almost to the top of the hour. looks like we're testing the bottom end of this trading range. So if it comes out of here, we're going to produce another hard edge bounce signal, another number 3. Your Raptor is probably producing a whole lot of signals here. You've probably got a number 1 signal, you've got a couple number 2s, you've got a couple number 3s. So all that barber striping that you see, the barber pole in the back, that just tells you that the market is moving sideways, which I'm sure you figured out anyhow. Not really sure which way they want to go from here. Let's see what else is going on. Well, the eagle is pretty much neutral. The hawk, we got a lot of yellow bars starting to cluster. And the falcon also giving us that back and forth type breakdown. So we got ourselves a pretty big sideways wedge, and oh, lo and behold, look at the trade forecaster here on the eagle, and we are in full on in scalp mode. So that kind of in sync with what we're seeing here on the charts. Okay, another bearish break. Perhaps a retest of the low. The market does seem to have a little bit more downside momentum to it, doesn't it? It's been very restricted follow through on any of the rallies. Here we are moving back into the hard edge now. All right, this hard edge bounce, we're not quite there yet. Let's see, are we close to a trend line perhaps? So you can see the trend line actually going to play very close to the Raptor cloud. That's why the hard edge bounce, I suppose, is as strong a signal as it turns out to be, the number 3 signal. Okay, here now with a quick little number 2 signal, a quick little reverse. I don't know, to me it looks as though perhaps the trend, the immediate trend is down. Here we go. They're going to attempt to move the market lower. There it is. Let's see if, oh, come back here. Give me a second push on that one. Play nice. Oops, stop that. Stop that. Okay, I'm just going to have to go in with a sell order. And I'll get my stop loss going again. I'll actually hold it back here a little bit extra in case I get some pushback here from the lows. Obviously, these lows fairly significant. Come on, sellers, you got to go this time. If you don't go, the buyers are going to take it away from you. Oh, almost to the end of opening range here. No, they're fighting it. Again, it's scalp mode. All right, last chance. Come on, somebody dip your toe in here. The other side of 68.22. Come on. At least allow me to get the trade to break even. I don't want to do what I did yesterday, where I stopped myself out too early. Got a little anxious on the stop. All right, here we go. That's probably enough that I should consider a break even. Come on, one more push. One more push, and I think we're going to run over the buyers. There we go. I'll leave it in parabolic mode now. Or, maybe you can play with the other methods as well. There's super trend, which is another ATR derivative. Doggone it. I thought for sure on that break at around 68.22 we would get a lot more bearish follow through, but that's not the way it is today. So trade forecasts are looking like it's actually pretty accurate today in predicting the environment. Yeah, darn it. I should have just taken my scalp profit. Okay, back into the hard edge so soon. We'll see if we get a test of the extreme at this point and a buy signal. That could be a buyable number two, a buyable counter trend. We're kind of back near the top end of this little trading range that has developed, this little sideways range we got going on. Well, they seem to be pretty content where they are right now. There's not a whole lot of follow through higher or lower. Like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing a decent retest here. The signal that comes out of here is going to be a hard edge bounce. It's going to be a number 3 signal. Thanks, Nick. Nick says, looking at the daily chart, we're at a double top, and yesterday, or double top with yesterday, and so far today the ranges are very small. Yes, they are. They're certainly reluctant to commit to anything. So the double top with yesterday's highs, that's going to be a significant level. Anytime you force the market to turn, that's always a significant price point. the neighbor's on his way to work. It's such a lovely morning here. I got all the windows wide open, so you're going to hear a lot of sounds from outside. All right, this now number 2 signal. So we're looking at a little bit of a test of the extreme. We haven't printed the signal yet, but I will entertain a buy, and I'll just get ready here on the buy button. There it is. And once again, I better get my stops in play. So all this is now is the buyers trying to push back against the sellers. The better stop is right there, below that swing low. That's the place you know you're definitely wrong about this trade. I know it's a little bit rich to start, but that's just how it's setting up right now. And this is a little bit of a risky trade, being that it's counter trend, so maybe just to be different, I'll look at taking some profit on target. David's asking, how did you figure that target? This is for the Raptor. A typical Raptor target is $100 or 20 ticks. A typical scalp target is $50, or in the case of the NASDAQ, 10 ticks. Okay, I'm going to get this trade to break even now. Come on. Play nice. Okay, here, I gotta give it a little push with the mouse. Get up. There. Come on. One more. Try. Oh, come on. Look at that. They're just stuck at, nobody wants to touch 68.35. When I see this kind of thing happening, there is the potential that the market could run if it trades above here. See how reluctant it is to head lower as well as to head higher. So whatever side it breaks from here, there could be a little follow through. In fact, I may squeeze the trade a little bit harder here. There we go. There. Now that it has a solid bear bar, it's probably going to try to head lower, at least for a little bit. So I grabbed like 20, 30 bucks out of the trade. It's funny that it couldn't give me that extra tick. Did not want to get above 68.35. That's odd. But you can see, how the market is in its different environments. People make the mistake of approaching trading every single day the same, and it's not. Every single day is not the same. Some days the market trends well, some days the market does not trend well. And was the impetus behind developing the diversified trading system and the Raptor, is that you would have a tool to complement each trading environment. So your cloud's almost fully crossed here. Your next buy signal is probably going to be a number one signal. I'm still not sure if this is a new trend, though. If this is a new trend, or if the market is, again, just in a little bit of a pullback move, or is it just in a great big sideways trading range? You can see our Raptor filter starting to break up a little bit. We're starting to get a little bit more bullish here now after a very, very long bearish bent. So we're back into the hard edge on the Eagle as well. We would normally anticipate some sort of reaction there. The Falcon gave us a nice little trend change signal, along with the Hawk, a decent first micro-macro cross about the same time that we got on board with our number two signal there on the Raptor. So you can see the Eagle very, very constipated here. We got a lower swing, a higher swing, a lower swing. Looks like we're going to put in a higher swing at this point. Trade forecaster saying we are in scalp mode for about another half an hour, give or take, after which we should be transitioning into a trend mode. David says he's looking for a reversal here. Yeah, maybe. I'll give you points for laying it on the line, David. A lot of guys will tell you in hindsight. A lot of guys will tell you, oh yeah, I was expecting the market to go up after it's gone up. Oh yeah. Paul points out that the market should be moving into trend mode after crude oil inventory this morning at the bottom of the hour. The NASDAQ and crude oil tend not to be correlated as tight, but there is very often a correlation between crude oil and the Dow. They tend to move together for the most part, although crude has been very lackluster for about the last year or so. A lot of small ranges, at least oddly, during the North American session. Some of the bigger moves have always been coming during the overnight. What I suspect might happen is we may get a retest here of the hard edge, maybe even a slightly deeper retrace. You can see your Raptor filter. I don't always focus on the Raptor filter. I should point it out to you more often. But when you start to see it breaking up like this, somewhere through here we're going to get another magenta segment, another pinkish segment. And that should be overwhelmed by another blue segment. That pretty much will put the buyers in charge. But I'm just spitballing here, just kind of thinking out loud. This is what the market did yesterday. Just when you least expected it, it started pushing higher bar after bar after bar and made it, well, it did make it impossible to get in, short of just hopping in any old place, keeping your fingers crossed. So my thinking is this like a sideways little trading range? A little bit of a pullback? Are we going to see a bearish break? Or is the market just going to continue to respect this trend channel and just keep pushing higher? Certainly, according to the Raptor here, we are a little bit more bullish. It would be easier to buy a hard edge bounce, I think. That would be the number 3 signal. That does, however, set you up for a a possible reversal, a possible number two. We are getting a second push opportunity off of this number one signal right here. So if you were inclined, you could certainly set up to buy above here and, well, at least risk it to the hard edge, I would think. It's a little bit of a tough call because the market does seem to be dragging somewhat. Let's throw my little channel lines back here. Oops. Stop it. Yeah, David says there's a lot of price congestion between 68.40, 68.50. It's a popular number to be sure. Jeff asks, it doesn't look like you're using the equivolume bars. No, like I said, the last time, excuse me, the last time I used my laptop for trading was about a year ago, almost to the day actually. And so, no, I've still got the old Raptor on here, the old trade manager, as you can see. I don't even have my logic counter bars, my price forecasting bars to tell me where this bar is going to finish. And the equivolume bars, no, I don't have those on here either. Okay, so I love it when I buy the high of the bar and watch the market reverse against me. Just makes me feel so good about myself as a trader. There should be one more push higher here. It's unlikely the market's going to reverse without at least a little bit of a test of the extreme. Okay, now we're into the hard edge. This is actually what I was looking to wait for and looking for the buy opportunity off of a possible hard edge bounce. By the way, my stop here, fairly tight for this trade. The best stop, if you go with my two swing rule, two swings back, well, these are all kind of mini swings. I don't normally take those into consideration. A mini swing is just a swing that has one or two bars preceding it. A bigger swing is one that actually looks like a bigger swing. So technically, the proper stop for this trade would at least be down here, and ideally even below here. But I'll let it go. We'll see what the buyers can do, if anything. Okay, here now the possible test of the extreme. I'm not liking that. That was such a promising looking bar there for a moment. Get up there. Get out of that yellow bar. Get back into blue bars. And I do believe we are still in scalp mode, coming out of scalp mode shortly, but I will set a profit target here as well. Just in case. On the off chance they actually let me ride out this swing that's going on. No, not willing to do that just yet. Okay, so we do have a little bit of a test of the extreme here. So the next sell signal that develops will print as a number 2 signal. The problem with it, though, is we are very close to the hard edge. And whenever we're near the hard edge, we usually anticipate some sort of reaction. So I'm hoping that the buyers are going to step up here. It's not looking all that promising here right now. Okay, this will be last chance for the buyers if they don't rally it here. Jeff's asking, Eric, what makes a bar turn neutral or yellow? Is it the number of orders being roughly equal at the bid and ask? The yellow bars are actually part of the Hawk programming. You're going to notice that your yellow bars on the Raptor very often will coincide with clusters of yellow bars on the Hawk. And yeah, I didn't think they were going to let me out of that one. And with the Hawk, a lot of times it's when you get this waffling. So you get the transition, the market conditions change. You can see we're crossing over the macro line. Then the market conditions get a little bit more bearish. Then they try to get bullish and bearish. And that's what they, when you start printing yellow bars. I'd have to check with the programmers. I don't think there is a bid-ask ratio in there, but I could be wrong. You know, this is going to be like yesterday. I think I'm on the right side of the trade, but my stops are too tight. Doggone it. I got tagged early again. Yeah, David says, I think there's going to be an upside reversal here. I think you're right. Pardon me. I was, obviously I was bullish, but I wasn't able to hang on through the pullback. Had I placed my stop down here where it should have gone, I could at least begin to roll my stops a little bit now, but I would not have been tagged out yet. So this a number 3 signal, or it may be printing as a number 1 because the clouds are back in sync. They're out of sync, back in sync. All right, let's see if they give me a second push opportunity here. The bar is trying to reverse. All right, let's see here. So if I draw a little itty bitty trend line here, there we go. Okay, I'm going to cancel that order for now. So you can see how the market's starting to get a little bit congested here. We got ourselves a little bit of a sideways pennant type formation going on. No, doesn't look like, oops, sorry. Doesn't look like the buyers are going to try to recover the market. Okay, thanks. David says his printed as a number 3 back here. You know, when you look at the overall context of this chart, though, and you can see how the market's kind of drifting, you need to be choosy about your signals and try to set them up in such a way that if the market's not ready to go, it's not going to bring you in. This now, the cloud's crossing here to the short side. We're going to get a little bit of a pullback, and that's going to set us up for a possible number 1 signal to sell. And, you know, other traders are looking at this and saying, well, look at this. We got a great big test, a retest of the lows. Maybe we should be looking to buy here. So it just adds to this whole sideways nature of the market. Which is the right answer? Well, everybody's opinion is different, right? If we see the market come dip down here a little bit now and fail and come back with a buy signal, well, then that's a buyable number 2. See, and other traders are going to look at this and they're going to say, nope, I think this market's in a downtrend. It's retesting the breakout, which it is, and they're going to look to try to short it. And like I say, it's a little bit of a tough call at the moment. I may be siding with the sellers, so get ready here with a possible short. Last chance. All right, there's the hard edge. If they drift below here, we should produce a sell signal. Oh, I got a little anxious there. All right, well, let's hope that one doesn't turn around and bite me. The signal not engaged yet, by the way. It just printed, but there we go. Now it's engaged. Now I don't feel so bad. I got a little excited. Yeah, great observation here from Nick. Nick says, shouldn't we be scalping in a sideways market? Most definitely, Nick. That's always a good plan. Given the limitations of my laptop here, I've just been running out all the trades. But yes, you are correct. Taking profit on target in a sideways market, great idea. In fact, let me see about throwing a profit order in here. It's not quite a scalp target. I'll go for the swing target here for the Raptor. And had you been scalping, as per Nick's suggestion, I do believe that this little move right here did hit your scalp target. All right, last chance now for the sellers to try to put something together here. Yeah, Dan says, this is how I got destroyed yesterday. You know, folks, it's going to happen. There's going to be days where the market just seems to have your number. When that happens, it's important that you manage your risk correctly. It's also important to recognize that some days, you know, the market's just going to be doing funky things, and you're going to get a clear signal, it's not going to work out. You're going to get another clear signal, it's not going to work out. If you fail on two solid signals back to back, you should consider that maybe there's something not quite right with the market today, and maybe you're going to go do something else rather than hang in there and keep losing. Well, yeah, Dan says I need to implement that strategy. The other thing, and you have to forgive me because as a trading room moderator, a lot of times there's a lot of pressure to show you trades, even though not all the trades are necessarily the best of trades. But you really should have a trade quota for yourself. You really should have like a 2 or 3 trade maximum. And you can see in the trading room here, if I implemented that, well, the trading room would be, we'd shut it down after a half an hour or 45 minutes because I usually get my 2 trades in and then my trading day is done. The more often you trade, the more likely you are to allow a losing trade to creep in. Because after a while, you study the chart, you look at the chart, and I don't want to say you start to see things, but it's not always clear what the market is doing. So if you have that 2 or 3 trading quota on the day, that allows you to be a lot pickier about your trade, right? So when the market is looking like this, and you're only going to trade 2 or 3 times today, are you going to take, a signal, a hard edge bounce? Oops, sorry. Come on. Why are you not working? Hold on. Okay, you're looking at a market that is kind of drifting, right? It's tried to make a move higher, hasn't worked out, tried to make moves lower. Okay, now you get a number 1 signal. Is it a high probability signal? Yes, most definitely. Is this perhaps the best signal of the day? Well, that's debatable, right? Given the market conditions, the way things are setting up, it may not be the best signal of the day. So if you have that mentality that you're only going to trade 2 or 3 times during the day, you can afford to let this signal pass. You can say, no, I'm not sure about that. Maybe we'll let that one go and I'll just keep watching and waiting. I'll go grab a coffee. I'll come back. I'll see what the market's doing. So it's a huge thing to have that kind of mindset. And if you don't do that already, I strongly encourage you to, because it's not the frequency of trading that's going to make you the money. I've mentioned this before, but too many traders bring a production line mentality to their trading. They think, oh, if I can take 10 trades a day, then I'll make a gazillion dollars and all my financial problems will be done. And that's not how trading works. At the very lowest common denominator, trading is not that far removed from flipping a coin. Heads you win, tails you lose. We all know that first coin toss, we have a 50-50 chance, right? In trading, every trade is going to be a winner or it's going to be a loser. That second coin toss, trying to flip heads twice in a row, well, all of a sudden our odds have diminished from 50-50 to only 25%. Only 25% of the time, 1 in 4 times will you flip heads twice in a row. If you're going for 3 heads in a row, well, your odds are cut in half again. Now all of a sudden you're down to 12.5%. And so on it goes. And like I say, trading is not unlike that. There's going to be days, like a couple of days ago, the market was obviously trending. That's going to skew things in your favor. You just look for a decent trend signal and hop on board, make your profit, wait for the next trend signal, hop on board, make your profit. and your day is done. Or if your account is a little bit larger and you're inclined to try for that third one, wait for what you think is the third best signal of the day, hop on board, and hopefully make your profit. But I guarantee you, if you go for signal number 4 or 5 or 6, you will incur a losing trade. I can almost put that in writing. I think the best I ever did was go 5 for 5. And that was a long time ago. It doesn't happen that often. Very often I can go 2 for 2 or 3 for 3 without too much difficulty. But then you start to toss in an extra trade and an extra trade. And like I said, I have to apologize because as a trading room moderator, if nobody's asking me questions, I end up, showing trades that may not necessarily be the best trades to take. And I have to lean away from that myself. I have to get away from that thinking that I have to show you something. A lot of times when I'm trading, you would be amazed at how little I trade, how long I sit there and watch the charts go by. In fact, years ago, we did do a trading room, and that was the number one complaint that I would get from people, is in the Q&A windows. They would always be posting, do something already. What are you doing? Are you there? Hello? Do something. Well, because they all have the production line mentality, right? They think, well, there was a good move. Why didn't you trade that? And what I felt like saying was, well, if you knew it was a good move, why didn't you tell me? Like Mark's comment here, fewer trades with quality signals. That is the secret sauce, folks. That's what nobody is talking about because, hey, it's not sexy. What is sexy? What are your fancy new settings for your stochastic indicator? Or, hey, I heard stochastic RSI is a great tool. How do you use that? That's the sexy part of trading. The hard part of trading is determining trend. You have 3 options. You have the market is in an uptrend, it's in a downtrend, or it's sideways, it's flat. If the market is in an uptrend, you should ignore all sell signals and you should just buy. If you think the market is in a downtrend, you should ignore all buy signals and you should just sell. If you think the market is sideways, then you have 2 options. You can either try to sell the highs. So here we are near the top end of the trading range. We got a sell signal. I can try to short that, and we're going to pretend that we kind of got in down here. But I can try to sell the highs, and I can look for buy signals near the lows, or I can just leave it alone. Right? Those are your 2 options. And when you are in a sideways market like this as well, it's advisable to look at taking a modest profit. You shouldn't, sometimes you'll get some huge moves, as it looks like I'm doing here. I'm getting a fairly decent run out. But you should be very aggressive with your stops, or just flat out run a profit target. All right, so right there is the essence of trading. If you can do those things correctly and then tie in proper money management, all of a sudden trading is going to become a whole lot easier. All of a sudden you're going to start have more winning trades, and you're going to start growing your account instead of diminishing your account all the time. So trade less. Honestly, you can make a good living trading 3 signals a day, because after that it becomes a game of multiples. So if you can make, I always use the $100 a day example because that's the easy number to add. But if you can make $100 a day, that's two $50 trades. All right, 2 scalp trades a day. Over the course of the year, if you can do that day in and day out, you will make $20,000 on the year because there's approximately 200 trading days in the year. Okay, $20,000, great, you say. That's a very nice little boost to my bottom line, but I can't live on $20,000, at least not in my neighborhood. All right. So what if you traded 3 contracts? All of a sudden, you're not trading more often. You're still only taking 2 $50 trades a day, but now you're trading 3 contracts. Now that's $60,000. You say, okay, well, that's great, Eric. That's better. But, you know, I still need to eat. All right. How about 5 contracts? That's $100,000. 10 contracts, $200,000. And so on it goes. And that is the secret of trading. Now, if you're trading a small account, of course, you gotta build yourself up there. You just can't go in with a $10,000 account and start trading 5 contracts at a time because, well, you probably won't last. You won't be able to ride out too many losing trades. You can't afford any mistakes. But even if you're starting with a small account, if you're starting with a $10,000 account and you're trading singles, and over the course of the year you've added $20,000 to your capital, you've increased it 200%. Now you're trading a $30,000 account. Well, now all of a sudden you can trade 2 or maybe even the odd 3rd contract. Yeah, Mark says start small, gain the consistency, and build from there. Consistency, consistency, consistency. It's the big hurdle for all aspiring traders, and they shoot themselves in the foot constantly by over trading, by risking more than they can afford, and by not being able to identify the market trend to save their life. And there's going to be times that you just flat out don't know. You're going to look at the chart and you say, I haven't a clue. I don't know if the market's going up. I don't know if it's going down. Well, then wait. Or like I said, if you think the market's sideways, okay, here we're kind of at the bottom end of the trading range. Well, sort of. We kind of broke the low of the morning. But if you think the market's in a sideways range, there's going to be a bullish reaction here. So you can look for a buy signal. You can try to buy that. Or you can just wait to see whether the breakout holds and whether a trend has developed. And like I said, that right there in a nutshell is how to make money trading. David's asking, as a new Ninja user, how do I get news on Ninja? I opened up the news screen, but there's nothing on it. I do believe you need to subscribe to news. And the best people to talk to about that is Ninja Support. They're very good about answering your questions, but I do believe that you do need to subscribe to a news feed. There may be a free one. I'm not sure. I don't have a news feed on my data as well, but they will certainly be able to answer those questions for you. All right, folks, I'm going to button up shop here a couple minutes early this morning. I do have somewhere I need to be, but I will see you again tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then. Bye for now.